I'm fully prepared with everything I need for the Jay-Z documentary. The moment he sent that legal letter, I knew I had to let the world see who he really is. He and Diddy are cut from the same cloth. He just hides his arrogance and control behind a cleaner image. Our feud has lasted 20 years, and I know better than anyone what he's done in the shadows. I even suspect that so-called funeral bouquet wasn't Diddy's idea at all, but Jay-Z acting on his behalf. Back when Nicki Minaj posted that video of him wearing a pink wig, all I did was repost it, and he got so nervous he had his lawyers threaten me. In 2015, Nicki worked her ass off helping him build his platform, and he allegedly pocketed her $7.9 million in royalties. And then there's his fingerprints all over key incidents through the years, whether it's the elevator footage or the guest list at Diddy's parties. He was involved, clearly, but somehow he always walks away untouched. That's what he's best at, pulling strings behind the scenes while pretending to be spotless in public. And now that a corner of the darkness has been ripped open, I'm not stopping. Everything my team and I are doing isn't about attacking anyone. It's about making sure the truth can't be buried by him ever again.
Jay-Z ain't answering the phone?
He ain't answering the motherfucking phone.
Yeah, it's like this, like
We had a black billionaires lunch.
black excellence. They're sitting there like, yeah. It's the billionaire brunch. You're like,
I hate you, man.
And we here together, and we gonna keep staying together. We getting tighter.
unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm gonna be with you this year. Yo, I feel like I'm normal again. Get me out of here.
Sean Carter aided and abetted or was directly involved. It's about to get real tense, and there's a lot of girls and boys who are still trapped inside the machine.
In interviews, 50 said he never took part in Diddy's inner circle. He explained that certain invitations and situations made him uncomfortable long ago, and that distance is why he feels confident speaking now. When the allegations became public, 50 said he learned about them the same way everyone else did through the news, but none of it surprised him.
Jaguar Wright explained that Jay-Z is worse than Diddy. She explained how Jay-Z has done worse things than what Diddy did to Cassie to other females. And she said that she has the scars to prove it. She alleged that at one time Jay-Z attacked her and got it on film like Diddy did. And she alleged that this is why Jay-Z is totally pulling away from Diddy and you don't see him around. And it's been alleged for quite a while that Jay-Z is pulling away from Diddy because he doesn't want himself caught in the crossfire. I mean, you even have 50 Cent at this point talking about how Jay-Z is in hiding while this whole Diddy thing blows over. And you even have these accusations of Jay-Z being responsible for what happened to Cassie White. So I'm going to go ahead and roll you guys this clip of everything that Jag had to say about Jay-Z being worse than Diddy. And you guys let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
Sean Carter is just as bad as the diddler. And I know that for a fact. I got the scars to prove it. You want to know what a box cutter feels like going into your skin and ripping you? I can tell you how it feels. Y'all ain't seen shit yet. That Cassie shit, that's nothing. I'm saying Sean Carter remembers everything he did to me and he's got it on tape. Just like Diddy. And they're gonna be crazy. It's gonna be the women that get them in.
The speaker begins by stating that he is fully prepared with documents, receipts, recordings, and testimony for a documentary focused on Jay-Z, explaining that the legal letter he received was the final confirmation that something serious needed to be exposed. He frames this moment as a turning point where silence was no longer an option, and claims that Jay-Z and Diddy operate with the same mindset of control, manipulation, and entitlement. The difference, he argues, is presentation, with Jay-Z hiding. behind corporate polished philanthropy and clean branding. While allegedly engaging in the same shadow behavior, he emphasizes that their conflict is not recent, but spans over 2 decades, giving him confidence that what he's revealing comes from long-term observation rather than speculation. He insists the goal is not character assassination, but preventing the truth from being buried again.
Jay-Z's accuser is saying that even though she dropped the lawsuit, she still stands by what she says, and she only dropped it because of harassment and the fact that she's terrified of Jay-Z. She says that Jay-Z is allegedly bullying her into saying that her accusations were false. In fact, in new legal documents, she is claiming that she was recently approached outside of her home and cornered by 2 people who told her they were investigators working for one of Jay-Z's lawyers. She claims they tried to get her to sign an affidavit stating that her claims against Jay-Z were false, but she refused. Jane Doe also claims the alleged investigators asked her if her attorney, Tony Busby, sought her out as a client and offered her money to pursue false claims against Jay-Z, 2 allegations she says she denied. He says this alleged confrontation left her intimidated and terrified, wondering how they found her when her identity had remained anonymous in media reports and legal proceedings. He also claims that her parents were approached by 2 investigators asking similar questions about Busby and her story. In the new documents, she reveals she decided to drop the claim because she was frightened by the reaction from Jay-Z and his supporters. He says she feared she would be publicly outed and subjected to.
He revisits the Nicki Minaj situation, describing how a simple repost of an old video allegedly triggered panic from Jay-Z, resulting in immediate legal threats. According to him, this response revealed insecurity rather than innocence and showed how aggressively Jay-Z protects his image. He expands on Nicki's role in helping elevate Jay-Z's modern relevance, arguing she worked relentlessly to support his platform only to allegedly be denied millions in royalties. He presents this as a recurring pattern where Jay-Z benefits from talent, loyalty, and labor, then distances himself once the power imbalance is secured, leaving others financially and professionally exposed.
Will Diddy start snitching?
He better. But the only thing I'm interested in him talking about is everything he knows about Kathy Coriana White. See, I know you know what happened to Corey. Diddy, I know that. You and Jay-Z down in Vegas at Tao with Claudia. Why don't you just talk about Kathy? That might help. That might help a lot. Kathy Coriana White, Jay-Z's pregnant mistress, who died 24 hours after she announced that she was going public with their relationship and the baby while he was married to Beyonce. Was it an aneurysm, Diddy? Or are you the one who paid the same coroner that you... Oh, Diddy, you...
The narrative shifts toward a broader pattern of alleged involvement in controversial incidents. Across many years, the speaker claims Jay-Z's presence can be traced through key moments that damaged others' careers, yet somehow never touch his own. He suggests that whether it was leaked footage, private guest lists, or internal industry conflicts, Jay-Z always managed to remain untouched. He portrays him as someone who never appears directly responsible, but is always nearby when damage occurs, arguing that this is not coincidence, but strategy built on influence, silence, and legal insulation.
Diddy and Jay-Z, they was close enough that they wasn't playing basketball, they wasn't playing baseball, they wasn't playing football, and they wasn't playing hockey or soccer for Diddy to come on stage, pat him on his ass, and then make the statement to people in the world that can't nobody call me Sean but Jay-Z. Now, I don't know what kind of statement, and I can't say, I wish I could say half a homo, but I know I can't say it, but I don't know what kind of half a homo that is. and you trying to say that you're not close to somebody. You coming on stage, patting them on their ass, and then you making a broad statement to the public, can't nobody call me Sean but Sean Carter. And I heard Jay-Z said the same thing about them. But they were so close that they had matching white girls together. Because when they used to see each other, they used to say, yo, how your skinny white girl doing? He'd be like, yo, how your skinny white girl doing? So, I guess that's a certain type of closeness.
I ain't know anything about that, man. I ain't know about, Jay touching his, ass. I gotta go see the video. I ain't hear about that.
Come on, man. Everybody's seen that. 50 even pointed it out. Excuse me. When they was in ATL on stage. Remember when 50 bum rushed the stage with them?
Yeah, I think I recall that.
When Puff came on stage, first thing he did was pat Jay-Z on that. But I forgot. That's your favorite rapper.
Hey, him and Pac is 1A, 1B. But what's your issue with Jay, man? I ain't know you had an issue with him.
I'm never a fan of somebody that I was...
Attention turns to Jaguar Wright, whose allegations are presented as explosive and deeply personal. She claims Jay-Z is worse than Diddy and describes alleged abuse that left physical scars she alleges that incidents were recorded and preserved, just as others with the speaker connects this to Jay-Z's sudden distancing from Diddy, framing it as fear-driven self-preservation rather than moral separation. He argues that Jay-Z understands the danger of proximity once investigations begin, and that retreating early is a calculated attempt to avoid being pulled into the collapse.
These guys are, man. They'll cause situations and cause problems, and then they'll forget what they've done because they're on a whole nother atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? A lot of shit that he did, you gotta understand, like now he'll say that they're kids because he's raising kids of his own. You understand? But how would you like it that if Blue Ivory, 15, 16 years old, 17, 18 years old, dating a nigga in his early 30s. You're not gonna go for that. No matter what she came through in Hollywood. But you gotta understand, guys who was around there, we didn't know Jay-Z them ages. We didn't know these cats' age. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't having no beards and nothing like that. They was wearing low cuts. You understand? Clean face. I would have never believed when Jay was coming around the block, scooping up the young girls and stuff like that he was 30 years old. You know, if they 17, 18, 16 years old, and they 22, you thinking they 22, 23, something like that, 24 years old? They mama and them need to check them. They daddy and them need to check them. But that's not that far off. But for somebody to be 30 years old in their 30s and they dealing with kids 16 years old, 17, 18 years, now that's a problem, that's an issue. And now he see that because he's raising kids. And he got a young daughter. I think he got another daughter that he didn't claim and now he claiming them. These cats was doing a whole lot of stuff that people in the industry won't speak on. And then now that you're speaking on it and it's becoming where is that you can get on YouTube and you could talk about this shit and say what you seen or say what you heard, you understand, or what you know. Some people look at it being a problem. But these cats ain't street cats. They entertainers.
The story deepens with claims involving intimidation and legal pressure against accusers. A Jane Doe figure is described as withdrawing a lawsuit not because her claims were false, but because she felt unsafe. She alleges investigators connected to Jay-Z's legal team approached her and her family attempting to influence testimony and extract statements. Her fear reportedly stemmed from how easily they located her despite anonymity. The speaker presents this as an example of how power operates. Quietly through intimidation rather than direct threats, creating an environment where truth becomes too dangerous to pursue.
It's odd to see him in that, getting looked at in that way by white people, like Jay does, yeah, like I hope that shit didn't happen, but I'm like, damn, They turned the world real, like people on a certain level have been fucking with him a certain way where he couldn't do no wrong for like 25 years straight. This is the first time he's not getting a pass with white media. You know, like he can control black media because a lot of them either work or do business with him. You know, but like, you know, Drink Champs can't get him out of this one, and neither can Charlemagne, because you know, those are the guys that hold him down no matter what he does anyway. So he got to get to People Magazine and Entertainment Tonight right now, because they on his head. But the question is why? Like, why now? You know, because for me, I'd be like, yo, that's so ridiculous. Yo, take that to trial. You're not gonna win. Let's get a deposition or something. You know, so I don't know why they on his head so much. Pause. But I never seen him, you know, under this, you know, I never seen him in this position to have to explain himself. Pause.
How you feel about the statement he came out with?
I mean, I didn't hear him say anything. I heard a piece of, you know, like I said, for me, I like, you see, I'm doing an interview, so I talk. I thought it was long. For a statement, I thought it was long, pause. But, you know, I think right now, his silence is the worst thing for him if he is innocent. He needs to let people ask him questions, and he needs to be able to say his side of the story, as opposed to let
Industry insiders are introduced to explain the larger implications, stating that even a single criminal investigation could unravel decades of protection. They argue that the documentary matters because it exposes systems, not individuals, showing how networks of influence shielded powerful figures. For years, rumors surfaced that Diddy may be cooperating with authorities and possibly implicating Jay-Z, which would fundamentally alter public perception. The speaker frames this moment as the first real crack in an industry wall that has resisted accountability for generations. Clip 7
said that he didn't know Puff at all or wasn't his friend. I thought that was a little extreme. I thought that was the wrong choice of words. I think that's going to trigger a lot of backlash. But the thing is, I never seen him get backlash at all. So that's what I'm saying. Now he getting backlash. Like, when do you know Jay-Z to be on his heels other than when he got beat up in the elevator? But that was nothing. But I've never seen him under the fire ever. Not in a long time. Not like, I've never seen people on his head like that, Paul. Ever.
Yeah, this might be my first time seeing people come at him like this.
Like I said, I didn't hear him say anything. Like, I'm not some white man speaking for another black man doesn't add up. It just doesn't work like that. Like, he doesn't know what to say on Jay's behalf. Jay would have to say that. So if he instructed him to say that, like, you don't even know if Jay told him to say that. He could have got off the stage and they was like, why'd you say that? He was like, I had to. You know, like, he probably said it because homeboy wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? So who knows? Like, I didn't hear him say anything. I haven't heard Jay say a word yet. Have you?
Nah, I haven't heard him say anything.
There it is. So y'all going by a piece of paper with words, don't get caught up in that. I have not heard him say one thing yet. You know? Until I see him speak, he hasn't spoke to me. That's why I said I don't think he did not say that. His lawyer said it. So what else is a lawyer gonna say?
Gene Deal directly contradicts claims that Jay-Z and Diddy were never close, pointing to years of public and private interactions. He recalls moments on stage where familiarity was undeniable and behind-the-scenes behavior that suggested mutual trust. Gene argues that attempts to rewrite history now are desperate and transparent. He suggests that distancing language from legal teams only reinforces suspicion because the documented closeness is too visible to deny.
Yeah. He made a statement recently. He said that Jay-Z loves money more than hip-hop. And he pointed out that Jay-Z performed at Tom Brady's Hall of Fame ceremony, but he didn't perform in any Hip-Hop 50 events.
I mean, Jay-Z's on a whole nother level. Like, I mean, you know, he's like, but you know what I like about 50? 50's on a whole nother level, but he's still approachable. You still get to meet the people and you know, Jay got to remember the people that made him. You know, I'm not saying I don't got respect. I respect Jay-Z, 50, used to respect, you know, Diddy, but all that crazy shit going on. But, you know, I always respected him because I looked at, for New York, those were like the guys. You know what I'm saying? The guys with the most money and the most influence. So with Jay is like, when the last time you haven't seen Jay. So I think people are just gonna say that. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I mean, Jay, you know, you gotta remember, he didn't want 50 at the Super Bowl. That was crazy. I'm like,
wait, Jay didn't want 50 at the Super
you didn't
Bowl?
know that? Yeah, he didn't
Well,
want.
I remember Eminem pushed for it.
That was some hater shit. Yeah,
I remember
pushed for it,
Eminem
yeah.
was like, I'm not going to do it unless 50 does it. I heard that.
Yeah,
but I didn't know that Jay was trying to stop it.
I don't think Jay. I don't know. 50 never told me that, but I don't think Jay wanted him there. I don't know.
Because of what? Some of the.
I mean,
back
you
and
know,
forth back in the
it's
day?
competition. You got to think. 50 always been competition for Jay. Remember, I'm about $1. What the fuck is 50 Cent?
That was a long time ago.
That was what, 9? What was
Yeah,
that?
but
9?
but after that, they did a song together. Remember
Yeah,
the whole,
of course,
the
but
whole
50
Gina
was
sneaker
50 was
thing?
always competition for niggas. Then remember Jay said, "Yo, 50's coming." He told Siegel and them, and Memphis Bleak and all them.
Yeah.
And come on, 50's like, he's on a whole nother level. You got to remember, he came after niggas. He came after Jay and Rockefeller. G Unit came, and people might shit on G Unit, but with Eminem, Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, nobody has outsold us.
Gene expands on uncomfortable topics involving age, power, and access, claiming that inappropriate relationships were normalized at the time due to image deception and industry silence. He explains that people often misjudged ages because of appearance, status, and environment, but that hindsight changes everything. He suggests that now, as a parent, Jay-Z would likely condemn behavior he once ignored or participated in this. Reflection is used to highlight how power insulated behavior that would never be acceptable under scrutiny.
He says to people, he goes into boardrooms and says to people, which I will never say, is he says, it's important for me to be a billionaire, you know, because black people need to be billionaires. And why does specifically he, at that time, I've had this conversation with white money people when they go, you know, it's important that Jay-Z becomes a billionaire. And I go, why? And they said, because he wants to open up a casino. You know, he wants to open up this. He should have an alcoholic brand. He needs to have a casino. He needs to have this. And you're like, why the fuck does anybody need a casino? Like another fucking casino
prints money
in this
all
world.
day, and it makes it very possible for people to launder money all day.
Yeah. So like, why, even the fact that you want to become so powerful, then you're not saying because he needs to build schools for black people in black neighborhoods. It's because he wanted to build casinos for black people.
For them to keep wasting their money, and then for him to keep
Yes.
giving them overpriced merchandise. It's a rat trap.
Yeah.
All of it is. The sad part is that hip hop has now turned itself over to this greed machine and doesn't realize it's.
Dame Dash adds context by stating this is the first time he has ever seen Jay-Z truly pressured. For decades, Jay-Z appeared immune to criticism, especially in mainstream media. Dame argues that silence is now his biggest mistake. Because absence allows narratives to grow unchecked, he criticizes the choice to speak only through lawyers, stating that credibility comes from direct accountability. He believes denying friendship with Diddy entirely was an extreme move that alienated allies and intensified backlash.
Why now? Why?
Because he's the acceptable monster at this time. Like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch.
So who's next?
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up. Why is everyone having such a hard time? He ain't doing shit different. He lined up D. Haven, stole his life and identity. He lined up Big L, stole his life and identity. He lined up Dame Dash, stole his life, identity, and took his love. Lined up R. Kelly. He wants to be the one.
Yeah, shout out D. Haven. He actually hit us up, wanted to tell this story.
You need to talk to D. Haven.
Yeah, we need to talk to him.
I told you.
The final clip explores why 50 Cent is so invested in exposing Jay-Z with insights from Tony Yeo, who contrasts leadership styles. Jay-Z is described as distant corporate and transactional, while 50 is portrayed as loyal, present, and accessible. Stories emerge about business loyalty, cultural neglect, and the Super Bowl performance where Jay-Z allegedly attempted to block 50's involvement until Eminem intervened. The clip closes by framing the situation as more than personal rivalry. It is presented as a reckoning for an industry driven by greed, silence, and power, where the cracks are no longer hidden, and the truth may finally surface whether those involved are ready or not.